Hello, everybody. My name is Emanuele Longo. I'm a fashion design lecturer here at the Raffles School of Milan. Today, we will have a dry run through all the informations, training you can receive through the 3-year course. Of course, in regards of fashion design, I make a small introduction about myself. Together of being a lecturer here at the RAFO, I've been working over the last 25 years, mainly as fashion retail buying and design director across Europe. And I'm very happy to be here at the RAFO since 1 year already. And of course, I do train young students, especially of the first year, in regards of the correct process and fashion collection methodology here at the Raffles School. So, before starting our dry run, we go through few dates in which you can reconnect with us through our socials. And I'm happy to announce that on June the 29th, there will be a workshop with Lorenzo Giacchellini in regards of product design. On June the 30th, again at 3 o'clock Central Europe time, we will have a workshop with Stefano Moscatelli in regards of interior design. On July 1st, again at 3 o'clock p.m., a workshop of visual design with Laura Budenzig. And again, you can connect with me on July the 2nd for the workshop of fashion design. All right. So without any doubt, we go through the slides of today. So here you have a small list of all the slides we will have a view together too. So before starting anything, as in any business, even good designers have to stick to a calendar. So we need to be ready, and a part of the training, of course, it's based on this, on how to respect timelines and deadlines. We will have 3 years to go through them, but of course, a collection building as a process, and of course, there is a specific timing, otherwise everything collapses in a minute. But let's go to the nice things. So again, on the 3-year course, there is a specific training in regards of colors, how to put them together, which is the nice and best way to create a color card and to create a color mood. We will study even the color philosophy behind in order to get the full control of how to pull together in a nice way and a representative way all the colors. So this is an example, of course, of a seasonal color card. There is a specific meaning vertically, horizontally, and diagonally on where and how to match and pull together all the colors. So just to give a very brief explanation, horizontally you can see all the grading of the colors. So from white we go to blue. Vertically you can see the colors by the brighter one or the pastel through the dark ones. Diagonally, for instance, in this specific case, because it was a collection with a lot of stripes, diagonally, of course, you can mix the color to get the right intensity across the stripes, for instance. So anyway, it was a brief explanation on a part of the training that on the 3 years you will receive. most important. So, of course, anybody can have ideas, can have meaning. There are a lot of study in regards of history, not history, modernity, actuality, but everything starts with a good concept. So any fashion designer, no matter if he has clear or she has clear ideas, we have to always show our work to somebody, and we need to get concept which anybody can understand and of course can pick what we mean, what we want to do. So it's always a very important documentation, no matter if it's our company or a company for which we are working, that, by the way, we have to announce and we have to show and we have to present what we have in mind. So anything starts from a concept. You have a small representation on what a very tight concept is. Of course, this is all about gingham to give an explanation. There are no multicolor check. There are two tones check of different sizes. And of course, there is already a pre-indication on the coloration I was about to go through. After the concept or mood board, of course, again, we need to show anybody what we have in mind. So the first slot, before going into any project development, we have for sure to show and to clarify our idea on how to develop that concept. So the illustration that I have on the back of my shoulder are the representation on how shapes, colors, and product will be mixed together, okay? Another idea here, we are in a sort of a mood board in this case. It's not any longer the concept we have just seen. That slide in regards of the concept was about presenting a specific theme. So it was that's why it was named as a concept. For this, we are talking about a mood board. Of course, through the 3-year course, we will go through all these different presentation methodologies. A mood board, normally, it's built to have a kind of pre-ranking on what we are gonna develop. So in this case, for example, it's gonna be for sure in the original idea, and actually it went through the end as it was from the initial mood board. It was a summer statement, lots of dresses, very fluid lines, and here and there, again, a very geometrical printing. You can see the fourth picture from the left. So it's a kind of pre-ranking on how we want to develop specifically that collection. Of course, from a mood board, this is not just a way of matching together the single items or product, or a further development from the concept to what we really want to develop. But of course, from a mood board, we can start also, and this is the big part of the mood board, not just to declare what we want to do, but even which are the materials we want to select to develop what we have in mind at its best. Of course, for instance, a mood board like this one, we will go through this, of course, if you will decide to attend to the 3-year course. It's helpful, especially not just for us to clarify our ideas, but also to give the correct information to a fabric department, for instance, or to a print department on which are the items or the fabric we want to select, in order that then a fabric department can actually prepare a big selection for us to go through it and then decide the final fabric. So it's very important, it's critical the way we pull together a mood board. Because, of course, it's not just for us, but we started giving, let's say, briefing to all the department, which depends in a way from the design department, especially in the big companies. And here we are. So, according to this mood board, this is the first release of a color card. So this mood board for a fashion designer, I did it myself. So this is the first release of the color card. So everything will be built according to this color palette. And beside it, of course, now it's a slide, so it's a digital presentation, but you can see which are the fabric which were selected. So there is a check, there is a seersucker, there is a ready-to-dye cotton herringbone, and then there is a very fluid fabric for all the blouses and dresses that were in the mood board. And then the print selection which was made for this drop or specific collection. Of course, now you have the full, let's say, development of this small collection. It was around 40 styles, more or less. So this was, once the mood board was done, once the color card and the fabric selection was done, then, of course, we could go into the preparation of the silhouette or illustrations. Just to declare for whoever was coming into the design office and wanted or wished to check what we were doing, of course, at this stage, there was the mood board, color card, fabric selection, and then the first release of the illustration. Illustrations, again, are a critical moment of our seasonal engagement, because from the first illustration you can really declare what's your final idea of the research which has been done from the mood board. And of course, anybody can understand where your final development will be edging to. Okay? So it's, again, quite important to make and to learn how to make a correct interpretation of no matter if the sketches are nice or not nice, but we need to be understandable and we need to declare specifically what we want to do. So it's very important to get this training, because across the board, no matter from luxury to retail or mass market, this is the methodology to present and to develop a collection. Of course, after the illustration, then we start and we will learn together how we have to follow the steps. Of course, we go into the flat sketches. The flat sketches are really the moments in which you finally start the real development. So a flat sketch from the illustration will support the technical department or the paper pattern making on how to not just develop the shape with the fabric you selected, but also you will start to put together all the technical information like stitchings, lining, shoulder pads, and whatever technically needs is needed to develop that specific jacket or trouser or whatever. Yeah. So, of course, it's very important because in these 3 years there is also from the first year already a paper pattern training with a specific teacher or lecturer in order to support the designer to correctly develop a flat sketch. This is again an example of a concept. This was for another company, and of course the matching illustrations. In this case, the illustrations were made for a more engaging, let's say, presentations. So they needed to be a bit more emotional. The other one that we saw before were a bit more technical, so practical. So of course, we will learn together even this different way of making a presentation. So illustrations can be quite different for the different moment in which we have to show something. So these were really for a big emotional presentation. Of course, the making and styling, this is more from the making, so we really train on how to stitch and make our own garments. So there is a part of laboratory in which we will stitch what we had on mind. So in order really to be confident with what we want to make. And then, of course, I believe from the third year, there is even a styling training or orientation. A fashion designer can also learn or decide later on to become a stylist, so why not? And of course, there is also a part of visual communication. So in these 3 years, you will also understand really the basics on the visual merchandising, how everything needs to be presented, where it needs to be presented. If you have from a collection to a collection, the environment, the field can be extremely different. So a good or a prepared fashion designer needs also not just to create concept, mood board, and collection development, but also need to imagine if she or he has a specific collection, where it can be settled and presented and how it can be presented. So this is the visual merchandising training we can get together. Of course, on the third year, there is even a design management course. This is critical because it's the first moment in which you pull together creativity with the design management. So, which are all the connected activities to make a collection successful. So this is the design management. So which are all the steps in which a collection needs to be presented to the market, which are the elements, which are the budgets, and the customer, and blah, blah, blah. So the design management, of course, no matter if you want to become a design buying director, but you need to have this information because these are the information which are matching with the market. So we need to understand that the collection, after all, needs to be distributed, sold, and it needs to be visible to our customers. So the design management is really giving these informations. So again, it's quite critical to get at least these informations in order to know that there are a lot of steps in which this collection will go through till the final customer. So it was quite quick, but I do inform you that for any information, you can write us to triennale at rmmoderndesign.it, or you can reach us through our social. So for Facebook, you have Raffol Milano Istituto Moda Design. For YouTube, again, it's the same. And then for Instagram, you have Raffles Milano. So hopefully there are some questions in which we can spend our last 10 minutes, I believe, or something like that, in order that maybe I can further explain.
Yes, Emanuele, we have some questions, and I send it to your mobile phone.
Okay. All right. So the first question is, if I'm not very good at drawing, can I still take this course? Yes, this course is made specifically to even to learn how to sketch and design. So there are specific moments, lessons in which we teach you how to pull together in the best possible way what you have in mind. What's important here is to love fashion, be very curious, and especially love the entire fashion world. So all the technical stuff can be, of course, learned here. There is a second, what's the best project I ever developed? Well, actually, that was almost 15 years ago. I've been working for 8 years on a very complicated fashion project. It was the conversion of a very big brand. I can't name it, but we wanted to, it was very famous in the 90s. And then suddenly at the beginning of 2001, 2002, it was in a very difficult time. So in 2005, we started this very big project to relaunch this brand. Of course, it was complicated because the history was extremely positive. And it took 3 years to get the young customer back to love this brand. But at the end, in 2008, we reached that. And it was a very emotional and positive timing for myself, of course, because it was not just to revamp the identity of this brand, but also to achieve a new customer, which needed to be young, of course, and so it was really a full engagement, not just from a fashion, from a collection perspective, but also from a brand building perspective. So we needed really to revamp in a modern way what this brand did 10 years back, 10 years before. So it was a great experience, and of course the results were great. So of course this is a project for me which was extremely pleasant, successful, hard, but altogether it went through. So there is one more question. So how much experience with a sewing machine we need to apply the 3-year course? Well, again, I did say it in the first one. Of course, there are laboratories to learn how to sew. So again, come with a very big passion and with a very big energy, because in these 3 years you can learn really how to go into the fashion business or in the fashion world. Just be ready for some sacrifice, and then it's done. we will learn it together. So, any other maybe questions or no? So, therefore, what can I say? Hope to see you on June the 2nd. For whoever will get back to us, we will provide for whoever want to experience on how to build a mood board, color card, illustrations. So we will provide a PDF with a kind of master copy of the work, which can be developed individually from you. You will send it back to us, and then, of course, we will give you all the information you want, you need, and you are interested into achieving. So I remind you all our social, and please reach us at triennale@moderndesign.it. All right. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you on June the 2nd. Bye-bye.